Hello everybody and welcome. Today I'm going to talk about a new game that comes out today, Super Mario 3D All-Stars. Yes, I've had it for a few days now and I've played through quite a bit of all the games and I am here to give you my takeaway on all of it. So today we are going to talk about Super Mario 3D All-Stars for the Nintendo Switch. So one of the big parts about this is that it's the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Bros. For the NES. And the way that Nintendo likes to do things, they like to celebrate their games every 5 years. So for the 35th, they decided they were going to give us 3 of the most critically acclaimed 3D Mario adventures out there. They gave us Super Mario 64, Super Mario Sunshine, and Super Mario Galaxy. This seems like quite the deal at first, and believe me, it actually is. However, what all do we get here? Well, when you pull up the menu, you'll notice that you have the 3 games. You have Super Mario 64, you have Super Mario Sunshine, and you have Super Mario Galaxy. What you'll also see is the soundtrack for all 3 games, which is a very, very neat and cool little addition to get with the game. However, when you dive into the game, you start to see some issues. When you jump into Super Mario 64, you realize that it runs at 720p in a 4x3 box mode and is based off the Shindo edition of the game. The Shindo edition of the game is cool in that it adds rumble and has cool little Easter eggs at the main menu. But it patches out several of the glitches that people use that make the game so enjoyable to begin with, such as the backwards long jump, which is used by speedrunners all around the world. And sometimes it's used from people like me who play it casually and just don't feel like getting 70 stars. Another issue with it is that it is emulated, and as such, you still have the same camera as before. The camera is mapped to the right stick, which is kind of janky. The game is running at 30 frames per second and the game has fewer drops than originally, so there is some benefit to it. The game does not drop as often as it does on the Nintendo 64 hardware. Plus the game really does kind of run better. Now here's the elephant in the room. All of these games are all emulated. However, there is a workaround used for one of them with its emulation. The emulation of Super Mario 64 keeps a solid frame rate, but it is concerning since emulation in the homebrew community are running this game at a full 1080p, where this emulator was likely pulled back because of drops in game. This leads me to believe that they were rushed and perhaps with the pandemic occurring have had to make concessions when time ran out. The game does run well though, but it is not what we wanted. Fans have already source ported the game to Switch in widescreen and 60 frames per second with a free camera as well. Now moving on to Sunshine, I have to say it looks good, like really good. However, the way this game controls is a bit janky, just like I remembered. I have a feeling that if you enjoyed this game and love it, then you will also enjoy this game in this collection. Definitely feels like the hardest one to play here though. The way they handled the flow of FLUDD is using the R and ZR button, with ZR flowing in front of you in a low flow and R at a full stream with aiming enabled. This works well for the game, but GameCube support is limited even though you can plug one in with the adapter. The game does not use analog control on the right trigger, which is a big disappointment, and I hope it's something that Nintendo will patch in. Please tell me you're not done with this, Nintendo. Please tell me you're gonna add GameCube support. The game's cinematics were upscaled in what looks like an AI upscaler and look convincing, but at times can look a bit off. But the game has simply never looked better, and I think they deserve credit for that much at least. I have to make a confession here though. I really don't like Sunshine. And even though I think it's a good game, I still find it a hard game to control and enjoy even today. However, I know a lot of people really love this game and are excited that the game has finally been ported to a modern console. In that way, the game is a great way to enjoy this classic. The emulation here seems to be on point, but the resolution will drop at times to keep with the frame rate, which leads me to believe that the game was having some issues with emulation. But that also leads me into the next game in this collection, Super Mario Galaxy. Oh, whoa. I am not a professional when it comes to coding and emulation, but I seem to understand that the game is running most of the game code and logic natively while sound and art assets are being emulated. I think this is a very impressive feat because the game legit looks like a brand new game, like it was developed this year for the Nintendo Switch. The game is definitely the highlight of the collection in my eyes and has made me not regret this purchase at all. The way the game integrates the pointer controls into the game is also very fluid. When in portable mode, you can use the touchscreen to collect the star bits, and when using the Joy-Cons, you can use the right Joy-Con to control the pointer with the motion control, and R to center the pointer at any time. The final scheme and my preference is with the Pro Controller using the gyro to aim the pointer. The game feels more fluid than ever and runs at a full 60 frames per second and 1080p because of the workaround with the emulation. This is the one they spent the most time with, and it shows. The game feels amazing as always, and it is the definitive way to play Super Mario Galaxy, and I may be a little biased because this is my favorite 3D Mario of all time, but I think it is justified when I say that this game has never looked or played better before. Now, with all that said, this is a little underwhelming. I'm going to give a score to the game, and my score might upset some people, but I think this is a 7. And I give it a 7 based on the quality of the ports, not the games themselves. Obviously, all the games are 9s and 10s. They're amazing games, and they are worth playing. If you do not own these games in any other way, this is a fantastic way to play all of them. But if you own them on other platforms, you may want to think twice before you get it, or consider whether or not you think Galaxy is really that amazing of a game for you to get this, which I personally do. Anyway, thank you for watching this video. If you enjoyed what you like, be sure to subscribe and like the video. And don't forget to click that bell so that you can be notified when I post more videos in the future. Thank you so much for joining me here, and stay nerdy.